This is going so hard. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so big. Everybody's been commenting saying I need to watch this video, which is the Heart of the Swarm cinematic. I've never seen it, but it's something you've been telling me I need to see. So here we are. It's StarCraft. How exciting can it be? It's just like one of those like RTS games. You just zoom down. It's just little figurines. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's give it a whirl. Let's see. See if we're inspired. We're just going to dive right into it. Enough talking. I'm going to be so wrong. I just know it. Fancy. All right. What do you got for me, Blizzard? Okay. Oh, the sense of scale.
I am the swarm. Armies will be
Oh, it's so big.
worlds will burn.
That's gross, but cool. This is going so hard. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so big. The camera zooms. Yeah, we got a mech. Oh, no, we had a mech. Oh, the snap zooms are so sick. Time to level up. Oh, the mechanics of this. It looks so cool. Man, this trailer does not waste any time. That thing is so big. Oh my gosh. Oh, the Wilhelm scream. This is insane.
On this world, vengeance shall be mine.
The scale of all of this. You can just feel how big everything is.
For I am the queen of blades.
What the heck? Ooh, what do we got going on here? That's an interesting ending. Is it all a dream? I don't know. Oh my gosh. That was so sick. Listen. I'm happy to eat my words. That was the fastest 2 minutes and 55 seconds of my life. Oh my gosh. So much to unpack here. This was gorgeous. And my biggest takeaway, which I mentioned, I'm sure, multiple times through this, is a sense of scale. Like everything feels so big. You can tell how massive everything is. And that's really hard to pull off consistently through a whole piece. Look at this, right out of the gate. These colors, the texture, everything's so rich. This is so cool. I love all the how ominously like quiet the beginning is here, because like when everything unfolds, it's nonstop mayhem and noise. But like it starts off a little bit on the quieter side, which I really appreciate. Because here you think it's just a nice aerial shot, and then you get these ships coming in real fast. But still, like the music, it's just like this little drone sound effect, really cool. Love the rain coming up over the windshield. This reveal, disgusting. Coming in right with that music, like you feel it, you see it, like your whole body is just like right away, you realize how big this thing is. That reveal is so good. And it's framed so well because you're seeing just like a few little tendrils, like they're the little claws So right away, you know that it's not just a ship in the traditional sense. I think it is a ship. It's just an organic ship, but it's not in the traditional sense of steel. And oh my gosh, this shot sells so hard. Once again, the sense of scale, because we were just in the cockpit with these, right? So we understand this is like a seat, maybe a 2-seater, a 1 or 2-seater. Like we understand roughly the scale. Like this is a single person, a single pilot, or a couple pilots. Look like there's a couple of shields here, but like a windshields here, but like you get a rough idea. All right. This is no bigger than, this is like a big Jeep or like, I don't know, maybe it's even like a small school bus size. But then compared to here, you realize this thing is taking up like blocks. It's massive. All these like egg sacs on the outside here, whatever the heck you want to. I don't even know what they are. I love this. The tendrils are really nice. You have that soft haze in the background here. The nice volumetric fog that's in the room here. So everything has like a really nice soft look to it, which really, man, when this all pulses red, it really pops. Yeah, I love these tendrils. This is really pretty. It's gross, but it's pretty. Same thing here, like the sense of scale, like you just know how big this is. You can tell it's just absolutely taking up the sky. I like this as a reveal because you don't really know where we are. Like you realize we're inside the ship. You don't know what you're looking at. Is it the heart of this thing? What is it? And then it's revealed that like, no, it's busting out. This is a bomb or a creature. That's such a good reveal shot. It tells you so much information. It's gross, it's organic, but it's showcasing so much. Yeah, and even just like framed nicely here. Like the city is right in the center. This is kind of vignetting off to the side, and we have a few more flying into the left. So your eye always has something to look at, but your eye doesn't feel aimless, like it doesn't know what to look at. You're absorbing a lot of info, but you still have a centralized focus. These impacts, the camera shake, that's so good. Okay, this shot was a standout even when it happened. Watch what the camera does. Rushes right up. Oh, that's so cool. That adds so much energy because you almost feel like you're one of the creatures emerging after the impact. So like to get this shot, practically you would just get your handheld camera, not on a gimbal, not anything like you just hold it and you're just running up, but it adds that energy to it. I love this. All of this feels so handheld and you're right there on the ground with them. This is such a cool transition shot, right? You have this giant monster and it's on the left-hand side of the screen, but watch it swoop into the right and do this basically a screen wipe. This is really cool. Now, here's something where I would probably, from my direction, I would change slightly. So right now I have this creature coming in from the left and it's swooping to the right of the frame. What I would have done is I would have carried on that left to right motion. In the very next scene, I would have had this tank. I would have just literally flipped this image horizontally. So the tank was coming from the left, going into the right. So you have that continual motion of like the creature left to right into the tank left to right. It just kind of helps your brain track what's better. Right now you have a ping pong effect where the creature's swooping to the right, but then immediately bouncing back to the tank coming out this way. So personal preference, of course, but that's how I would have attacked this shot. And really, even from just an editing standpoint, even if you created it this way, and in the edit you were finding like, oh, like these two scenes work really good together, I would just literally just flip it, just mirror image the scene. That way you'd have that continual motion. Whatever, it's a nitpick. This looks so sick. It's this giant bull. I love that. The ship coming in. It does an actual Michael Bay Transformers transformation here. I know I'm going to get dunked on for that. I'm sure this came out prior, but this is so cool. You feel the impact, like, oh my gosh, when it hits the ground. So strong. I love that it starts shooting before it even gets its guns up to the creature. You see it just starts at the ground. It's just the guy operating this is just into fire mode. He's shooting, and then brings his guns up. But it doesn't matter. He got dunked. I love all of the mechanics, all the whirring and all the pieces coming together and falling apart. There's so much texture. There's so much to look at. This framing is really nice because you're following, right? All sorts of different things for this one scene. Close up of the foot. You see all the hydraulics connect into place, and then you swoop all the way up to this gun. You see it, you know, charge up and fire. So that's all just one camera shot, which is really nice. It's very, very well framed. It's always keeping all the action pretty much right in the center. You have the leg drop. So even though the scene is carrying you through a handful of things, it's still keeping all the action right in the center. Helps guide your eyes. This is really well framed. It's leading everything up here. Like from a shot design standpoint, this is as good as it gets, right? You have all the oncoming enemies that are kind of going bottom left up to the right here. And it's all framed by the dark buildings on the side. So your eye really is attracted to this little blank space up here where they're all headed. And that's even when the flying creature comes in. So once again, your eye's already looking here. They've pushed your eyes over to this corner and then already have a creature flying in to occupy that space. Backlit. So sick. You know I love a silhouette, and this does not disappoint. Oh, that explosion is so massive. Look at this. Yeah, we love this. All the ground effects pumping up here. Yeah, this is beautiful. Man, they're doing such a good job. Like, you feel the impacts. Every time there's a shot that impacts on one of the creatures, or even when the Marines are shooting, you're seeing, like, the camera react to it. Right here, the camera's got a little vibration to it every time they're pulling the trigger. And then here, boom. Look out behind you. That Wilhelm scream is pretty ridiculous. That's a very famous scream that is in every Star Wars movie, and it's you can find it all over the place. It's a very famous scream. It originated way back in the 50s or something. It was a long time ago. There was a scream, and they've just used it over and over again in pieces. It's a little bit of an immersion break, but it's fun. This is really cool. This is so big. Look at the scale of this. You got the statue slowly falling down. You could tell how big it is because of how slow it's falling. Like I do love that. They didn't try to rush it. They really just took their time with the falling because it's so massive.
Now at last, on this world, vengeance
Yeah.
shall be mine.
And now you got, what is that, a ship coming in? Just goodbye. Goodbye, future London. That's what it looks like. I don't know where this is. This is another great reveal shot. Standing on this statue. Yeah. This is framed so well. There's so much depth. You have so many details, right? It's like the artist didn't need to go as hard as they did, but you can see in the background all of these like little silhouetted shapes of these buildings, and there's so much texture on all the buildings, little lights and fires burning in them. So like even though you're not directly paying attention to any of this, it just builds in the information like that you're seeing. There's a lot to take in here. And she's backlit, right? You have a nice strong light here at the top right of the scene, so you can keep her very silhouetted and imposing. This looks gorgeous. The subtle effects coming off of her eyes, the purple like smoke. And that's a really cool transition. Was it a dream? I don't know. This is cool. Framing her center here with all these like medical tools on the side. Once again, like we talked about this before, it's like the natural vignetting, right? So instead of just darkening your image, it's like, well, just have the light focus on our main character, but still have things on the outside that are interesting, but that are much darker. And so it guides your eye right to the center. This is just a very aesthetically pleasing shot. Man, this is absolutely ridiculous. There's so much to pull apart in this. I think they did a good job balancing, right? I think they did a good job of balancing really close-up stuff, so you're feeling very personal with these Marines. You know, you're like, oh, you feel like you're in it with them. You're the ground floor of fighting, and you can't stop it. But then all of a sudden, you also get these massive scale shots. This has got to be the coolest one. That's got to be the coolest shot. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, starting this off slow is a smart move. Ramping right into this. My gosh, I love all of the texturing. All the lighting too is really nice. This is very like overcast. It's a nice cloudy day. And so you have just really nice soft shadows on everything, which makes everything feel a little bit grimier. But even with that, over here, you can notice they brought in these ships from the left. It's such a good example of like how to frame a shot. I'll play this 1 second here. So there's so much texture going on, right? Because you're looking straight down at the ground. So there's all this city here in the middle. And it's so textured that ships would get lost. You wouldn't be able to see the ships very well. So what do? They bring in some smoke. They bring clouds. They bring in clouds here on the left-hand side. So these ships have something to fly in front of that your eye can easily identify what's happening. It's so smart, because if these clouds were pushed off to the left off the screen and these ships were over top all this texture, you would not be able to see them, like at least not very well. So it's very clever. And just slide those clouds in just ever so slightly to make these ships pop off the background. So clever. You're doing a really good job with the transition. So like you get these explosions that fill up the screen, which naturally takes you to a new scene. You just you constantly feel the forward momentum or the forward motion of this entire trailer. It really is one thing leads to the next in a very organic way. Same thing here, like these clouds are very interesting. They're very intricate and layered, but they are there for a purpose, because now we have the really darkened silhouettes of these creatures getting launched that are very easy to spot and easy to follow. Also, I do love it. You have, throughout this whole piece, you really have a left to right motion for a lot of the reveals. So right here, you have them launching to the right. And then as most of these creatures are running through the scene, they're still following that same pattern. Even this one, after he blows it up, it's still going camera left over to camera right. So this whole time, and by the time you get to this, some of these giant reveal shots, it's still left to right, left to right, left to right. So it's really good. It's really good. The momentum, visually speaking, usually from a filmmaking standpoint, because we, like with the visual medium, we often will have things go left to right in an action scene, and they follow that pretty much through this whole piece. So, anyways, this slapped. I did no notes. What am I gonna say? Literally, like this was every bit as awesome as everybody said it would be. It's inspiring. It's incredible. It's over the top, but still like grounded. Nothing felt like gimmicky. It felt like really raw, and you really feel overwhelmed when you're watching it. You're like, oh, humans they're done. And I think that's an amazing takeaway. Anytime you can make an audience feel a certain way, even within a short, like couple minute long trailer like this, the takeaway is like, you just feel overwhelmed. You're just like, there's no hope. What do we do? So I think that's so sick. Yeah, incredibly inspiring. Something like this on a movie would be incredible. That would be very expensive. So yeah, we might have to just be content with video game trailers for some of these kind of giant visuals for sci-fi, but absolutely amazing. Let me know in the comments if there's other StarCraft trailers that I should be checking out, or other sci-fi cinematics. I would love to know. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you again so much for checking this out with me. It was absolutely amazing. I'm inspired, and that's the best takeaway. So until then, I will see you around.